There is a question that separates almost every highly successful person from everyone else, and it has nothing to do with talent, nothing to do with connections, nothing to do with luck. It has to do with how they see time, not how they manage it, not how they schedule it, how they actually experience it inside their minds. Because research is now revealing that the way your brain represents the future is one of the most powerful predictors of the choices you make today. And most people have never once examined how their own brain thinks about tomorrow. Here's where it starts to get interesting. Psychologists have a term called temporal discounting. It describes something your brain does automatically, without your permission. The further away a reward is in time, the less valuable your brain makes it feel. $100 today feels worth more than $100 next year, even though the number is identical. Even though logically you know they are the same. Your brain doesn't experience the future the same way it experiences the present. The present is vivid, immediate, real. The future is abstract, distant, almost imaginary. And your brain makes decisions based on what feels real, not what is real. This is why people choose Netflix over studying. Why they choose the meal that tastes good now over the body they want in 6 months. Why they spend instead of saving. The future self feels like a stranger, and your brain doesn't naturally sacrifice comfort for strangers. But something changes in people who build extraordinary lives. Researchers studying high achievers across business, science, athletics, and the arts found a consistent pattern. These people don't experience the future as abstract. They experience it as close, as vivid, as almost already happening. Their brains had developed what psychologists call a long-time horizon. And that single difference quietly reshapes every decision they make. When your time horizon is short, you optimize for today. When your time horizon is long, you optimize for a life. There is a famous experiment that illustrates this more clearly than almost anything else in psychology. You may have heard of it, the Stanford marshmallow experiment. Children were given one marshmallow and told that if they waited 15 minutes without eating it, they would receive a second one. Some children waited, many didn't. But the finding that shocked researchers wasn't the waiting, it was what came after. When these same children were studied years later as teenagers and then as adults, the ones who had waited consistently showed higher academic achievement, better health outcomes, stronger relationships, and greater financial stability. The ability to delay gratification didn't just predict self-control, it predicted an entire life trajectory. Because the children who waited weren't just more disciplined, they had a more developed ability to make the future feel real. To hold it in their minds vividly enough that it competed with what was right in front of them. And here's what most people never realize about that study. Discipline didn't create the waiting. The vividness of the imagined future did. Scientists weren't expecting this next finding. When they scanned the brains of people making long-term financial decisions versus short-term ones, something remarkable appeared. When thinking about their future selves, most people showed almost no activation in the regions associated with thinking about themselves. Instead, their brains activated the regions used for thinking about strangers. They were literally making decisions for a person they didn't feel connected to. But when researchers helped participants vividly imagine their future selves, using aged photographs, detailed visualizations, and specific future scenarios, the brain activity shifted. Suddenly the future self felt familiar, connected, real. And the financial decisions those participants made changed dramatically. They saved more, they planned more, they sacrificed more for a future that now felt like theirs. This changes everything about how we think about motivation. Motivation isn't the fuel that drives successful people. Vividness is. The clearer and more concrete your future feels, the more naturally your present behavior aligns with it. You don't need more willpower. You need a more developed imagination for your own future. Successful people do this without being taught. They talk about their goals in the present tense. They visualize outcomes with specific detail. They think about the person they are becoming, not just the things they want to achieve. And without knowing the neuroscience behind it, they are doing something deeply sophisticated. They are making their future self feel like a close friend instead of a distant stranger. There is another dimension to this that almost no one talks about. Successful people also think about time differently in the opposite direction. They think further into the past, not to dwell, but to extract compound lessons. Where most people forget a failure and move on, high achievers mine it. They look backward with unusual precision, asking what pattern produced this outcome, what belief led to that decision, what small choice months ago is creating today's result. Jeff Bezos once said he makes decisions he would be comfortable with at 80 years old looking back. Warren Buffett describes his investment decisions as letters to himself decades into the future. These aren't personality quirks. They are evidence of a fundamentally different relationship with time. Most people live in a narrow window, the recent past and the near future, maybe a few weeks in either direction. Successful people live across a much longer arc, and that arc changes what matters. It makes short-term criticism feel less threatening. It makes temporary failure feel less final. It makes daily effort feel more meaningful because it is connected to a much larger story. This is also why successful people are less reactive. When your mental time horizon extends years into the future, today's problem shrinks. It becomes one small chapter in a long book, and you stop making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Researchers studying CEOs, elite athletes, and top performers across fields found that one of the most consistent traits wasn't intelligence or charisma. It was patience, not passive patience, active patience. The ability to keep working precisely and consistently through long stretches where nothing visible seems to be happening, where effort feels like it is disappearing into silence, because they understood something most people don't. Compounding is invisible until it isn't. A tree doesn't grow visibly from day to day, but the roots are deepening, the structure is strengthening, and then one season it towers above everything around it. Success works the same way, and most people quit in the seasons where nothing looks like it's growing. The people who don't quit aren't more motivated. They are more patient because they are more future connected, because their brain can feel the compounding that hasn't arrived yet. So what does this mean for how you actually live? It means the most important mental skill you can develop has nothing to do with productivity systems or morning routines. It is the ability to make your future self feel real to you today, to close the psychological distance between who you are now and who you are becoming. To think about your choices not just in terms of what they give you today but in terms of the person they are slowly constructing. Every decision you make is a vote for a future version of yourself, and the clearer that version is in your mind, the more naturally your behavior moves toward it. Not because of discipline, because the future stopped feeling like a stranger and started feeling like someone worth protecting. That shift in how your brain experiences time might be the quietest and most underestimated difference between the life most people live and the life a very few people build. If this changed how you think about your own future, subscribe, because the most important investment you will ever make is understanding the mind you use for everything else.